I want to talk to you about a few interesting things that were touched during the 5-day seminar. We talk about paradigms, we talk about goals, we talk about fear, we talk about intellectual factors, we talk about the laws of the universe, we talk about that standard, and we also talk about the process we got to follow. Well, it seems like if all of them are different things, but they are all part of the same thing. I will tell you that if you want to really get the best of these 5 days that we just went through, number one, go back to the day or the days that really impacted you and listen over and over to the 5 minutes or the 7 minutes that resonated the most with you. When it comes to personal development, something very interesting that I learned from Bob is that you don't have to read all these books. You don't have to read everything and study everything in order to get it. You just go and study exactly what it resonated with you, but you do it over and over and over and over again until you internalize it and you really understand it in a deep cellular level. So go back and listen the 3 or the 5 minutes that really made a difference for you. Number two, you can record it on your cell phone because, of course, they're going to be taken away by the end of the week. The seminar doesn't last forever in there. It's taken away by the end of the week. It's rules in here in the Proctor Gallagher Institute, but you can record it in your phone, those minutes that you went through. But number three, I want to really give you a study guide that if you just put some attention in top subjects, it's really going to make a difference. Number one, I really hope you understood what the creative process is about. The creative process is the certain way. The creative process is the series of steps that you gotta take in order to achieve anything you want in your life. Let's call that to be successful. Successful people achieve whatever they want in their life, or it's equivalent. So becoming successful, it's not doing a lot of things. It's like Wallace D. Wattles let us know in The Science of Getting Rich, a wonderful book written 112 years ago. It's not about doing a lot of things, but it's doing things in a certain way. What is the certain way? Well, it's a series of steps you got to follow, and we can compact them in the following 5 steps. Number one, you got to set a goal. You got to know where you're going. Number two, you got to build an image. Is the image enough to manifest? No, but it's a prerequisite to start the creative process. You got to see it yourself. You got to spend that money. You got to feel that body. You got to spend the time with that person. You got to drive that car. You really got to do what you want to achieve in your mind first. So it's not enough. If you're just visualizing, you're not going to manifest, or you're not going to manifest as fast and as good as you want, but it's a prerequisite because if you can see it, you can have it if you follow a process. The next step of the process is step number 3. You got to feel that that image that comes from your goal is real. That's what Bob and Arach call believe. That's what Bob and Arach calls to see it with the eye of your mind and to feel it. Feeling, guys, is the awareness of the frequency of vibration you're in. So the more you can feel that image is real, the more you're going to put into work the laws of the universe, specifically the law of attraction, the law of vibration and attraction that decrees that everything that comes into your life, it's exactly the same that you're vibrating. So if you're vibrating this image, guess what you're going to attract? The people, the circumstances, the ideas in order to make it happen. Step number 4, now that you're feeling this, you gotta listen to your inner voice. You gotta listen to your intuition, one of your higher faculties, because your intuition is gonna guide you with perfect accuracy on what step to take, when to take it, and how to take it. You're not gonna know why. You're not gonna know which one is the next step. You're gonna live in a totally unknown state. But that's why you gotta study these, to be aware why you don't know what's next. But you know that you will know what is next. You don't know what is next, but you know that you will know. That's awareness. And step number 5, action. You will never be guided about something you don't need to act on it. So act on that guidance. That's step number 1. You got to really keep in mind the signs of getting wealthy, the process. Number 2, I really want you to go back and recall on the higher mental faculties. You need to really keep those 6 in mind because those are the God-given abilities that you have. When you read the Quran, when you read the Bible, when you read all the sacred books that, let's put it this way, are more popular in the world, they all say one thing: we are made of the same substance of our God, of our superior power. Well, the side where we are made about the same, it's the higher faculties. The Creator made us in His likeness. And the way we are in His likeness is by being the same as He is, a creator. We are the creation, but we are creators. And we use those 6 higher faculties to create. Those are the reason to accept or reject an idea. The memory to bring back all the good sensations, all the good memories, all the good feelings that makes me feel better and create better and better and better. Number 3, my perspective, to only really put attention on what I want, not on what I don't want. It's the point of view. Number 4, my imagination. It's like Napoleon Hill said, is the more miraculous, fantastic, and inconceivable force the world has ever known. Then we have the will. The will is to hold the image of the goal we want to achieve. And the more we hold it in our mind, the more energy we're putting in there, the more fuel, the more power. So the more you develop your will, it's just an invisible muscle that you can develop, the more energy and the faster you're going to manifest. I love the way Bob taught me this back in 2017 in this Hawaii meeting we had, seminar we had in one of the islands in Hawaii. He said, we don't know how long it's going to take for your goal to manifest. But what we can tell you is that if you hold it longer and longer with your will, it will manifest faster because you will give it more energy. And by a lawful process, whatever receives more energy grows faster. And finally, your 6 mental faculties, your intuition. It's that mental faculty, that superpower that allows you to pick up the energy of other people or of the universe that is guiding you. Is your intuition the one that picks up the answer, that picks up the idea, that picks up the opportunity, the business proposal that you were waiting and it was right in front of you? You pick it up with your intuition. But in order to pick it up, you got to train the intuition. So that's number 2. Number 1 was the signs of getting wealthy, a series of steps you got to follow. Number 2, it's using your higher faculties. And number 3, know, understand, and respect the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe, when it comes to personal development, when it comes to understanding who you are, what role are you playing in this universe, are only 7. And they're very simple. I mean, my 6 and my 10-year-old know them very well. I use easier names for them so they can understand them better, but they are very easy to understand. The first one is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. That law is telling us that everything already exists in one way, in one state, in one kind of energy or another, but everything is always changing. Nothing is created or destroyed. It's just changing and changing. So the energy is perpetually changing from sand to glass, from glass to sand, from oil to plastic, from plastic to smoke. It's always changing. So that's the law that really states that everything already exists in one state of energy or another. The second law, and there's no more important law than the other one. I'm just going to say them in the way I'm remembering them. The second law we can talk about, it's the law of vibration and attraction. That law dictates that everything is moving, and the form it takes in the physical world, it's related to the frequency that energy is vibrating. So that law dictates that if you can match that vibration inside of you, in your mind, you will attract anything that is needed in the more simple and easy way to manifest it. So what you gotta focus on is on vibrating the right way. And like I said before, feeling is the awareness of the frequency of vibration you're in. That's a huge idea, because if you can guide the way you're feeling, I feel fulfilled, I feel with expectation, I feel with faith, I feel with in love with my idea, with my goal, I'm getting closer and closer, and the goal is getting closer and closer to me. The third law that we can talk about is the law of cause and effect. And that law dictates that for every action, for every energy you put out in the universe, you will always get exactly the same, but in the opposite side. So if you put good, you will get good back. Not from the same source. Very hardly it will come from the same source, but you will get it back. So that's why forgiveness is so good. So you can put good out. So that's why thinking the right way is so good. So you can put good out. So that's why thinking on your goal the best way you can, it's so good, because you put in energy out. And any type of thought, feeling, words, or action, it's energy. So the law of cause and effect, it's always working. Emerson used to say that this was the law of loss. The fourth law that I want to talk about is the law of polarity, or the law of opposites. The law of polarity dictates that everything has two sides, a good one and a bad one, a cold one and a hot one, a hard one and an easy one. So nothing is hard or easy, nothing is big, everything is just ease. But with your thinking, you can jump to the other side. With your thinking, you can turn it around. Of course, you gotta use your perspective, you gotta use your higher faculties to do that. But the law of opposite dictates that everything has an opposite side. So, like Napoleon Hill said, every terrible challenge, it's also a huge opportunity in the other side. But you gotta use your perspective to find out, and you gotta be guided to really know how to do that. You're not gonna do it just because you wanna do it. You gotta learn how to do it. This is like any skill. It's like learning to drive, or learning to ride a bike, or learning to play a guitar. Something you gotta learn, but once you learn it, it's a done deal. Then the fifth law I wanna talk about is the law of relativity. The law of relativity dictates that everything just is. Nothing is hard, nothing is easy, everything just is. Nobody's fat, nobody's skinny, everything just is. But it becomes something when you relate it to something else. You know that somebody is fat if you're looking that somebody is not as fat. You know that somebody is tall if you're looking or relating that to somebody that is short. But nothing is. Nothing is good, nothing is bad, everything just is. So I love the way Bob used to put this. God is, energy is. When you understand that, then all the energy that is coming to and through you, you can shape it and make it whatever you want, because everything is good. Everything is good. The next law I want to talk about, the sixth one, is the law of rhythm. And the law of rhythm dictates that everything goes up and then goes down again. Everything comes and everything goes. Everything starts and everything finishes. Nothing is perpetual. Everything is changing. Change is the only thing you can be sure is going to happen. Everything is always changing by many lawful reasons. But this law of rhythm tells us that you gotta understand that anything that starts has to end, but it will start again. It's like Bob tells us in his coachings. It's like the seasons. Oh, summer is gone, but it will come back. How do you know it comes back? Because I have the awareness. Oh, the wave in the ocean came, it was so beautiful, brought me some shells and some crabs, and now it's gone, but it will be back. And how do you know it will be back? Because I'm aware. Well, the more you study the law of rhythm, you know that if your business is not going the best way, if your relationship is not going the best way, if your health is not going the best way, but you are working with the law and you're in the right thinking and you're following the process, then whatever you need will come. But if you don't know it, you will just get frustrated. You will put yourself in a bad vibration because you're not aware that everything that goes up and down will go up again, and you just let it go. And you just put yourself in the wrong thinking. You think in reverse, like Bob says, and it doesn't happen. That's why awareness is so important, to know that you know why all this is happening. You're not going to accept this just because Bob said it or because Napoleon Hill wrote it. You're going to accept it because it really resonates with you inside of you. And the seventh law, it's the law of gender or law of gestation. This law decrees that every seed that you plant, either in the physical ground or in your mind, requires a time to gestate and manifest in the physical world. Just like it happens with a corn seed or with a baby inside of the mother's uterus, that it needs certain time to manifest, the same when we plant the idea of our goal and the image of our goal in our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, once it's planted in there, it's over. It's yours. We just need to give it time and nurse it and feed it and take care to make it happen. So these three key points, laws of the universe, creative process and its steps, and higher mental faculties, are the three things you always gotta be working on and keep it clear. And once you understand this, then you can start studying other powerful things like the habits of the successful people, like getting a standard, like understanding attitude, like doing a lot of other things that will help you to raise your awareness. But you know something? This has to be said. You need guidance to make it happen. Every successful person that you know in any field, you name it, politics, sports, entrepreneurs, any industry, the real success ones, they all have mentors because they need somebody to keep telling them and guiding them on all the big potential that they have inside of them. Bob had mentors until the last day of his life. Every one of the members of the Proctor Gallagher Institute and the Success Advisors, we all have mentors and we have permanent mentorship because we got to keep growing and taking the best out of inside of us, because everything that we need, it's already inside of you. I know it sounds weird when somebody tells you this, but it's so true. Inside of you, you're connected to the whole universe, not only to the whole planet, to the whole universe. So when you understand who you are, when you understand how to connect with your higher you, when you understand how to put in practice all these beautiful things we've been talking about in these first 15 to 20 minutes, that's when you really start winning. But once again, you need the mentorship, because school is never going to teach you this unless we change the educational system. I'm doing my part on that, but only in my community. I guess we got to do it in all the world. You will never find this out in your job, in your enterprise, in your business, unless somebody that really knows this takes it. So it's very important for you to understand that if you really want to win in a big way, and I'm talking about overcoming a big health issue, and I'm talking about turning your yearly income into a monthly income in 8, 10, 11 months. I'm talking about really crushing a year and having the best year in your life. You need mentors, because you got to study from the paradigm of the person that is already winning what you want to win. When we self-study, very disciplined, very committed, we're starting from our own paradigm, not from Bob's paradigm, not from Arash's paradigm, not from Napoleon Hill's paradigm. But when you have the right mentors and you're guided, It feels uncomfortable? Hell yeah, because it takes you out of your comfort zone. You stop doing things the way you always do it. But when you start feeling uncomfortable, that's the best sign that you're going in the right way. Today is Friday, June the 10th. Today was the last day of the 5-day seminar. And Raj Basugi, our top coach, said something very interesting that I was talking about a few minutes ago in a Spanish coaching that I was giving to the Latino community. And that was, if you're going to do something and you feel a lot of fear and you know that you have to do it immediately. Because fear, it's the awareness of your growth. Fear is not the enemy. Doubt is the enemy. If you doubt that you're going to succeed, you're lost. You got to work in yourself. You got to work in your self-esteem. You got to work in your self-image. But if you're doing the things the right way, because you're being guided, because you're in a mentorship program, because you're talking to your coach once a week, and you feel fear about doing something, like Raj said today, do it with fear. And like Will Smith said in that video that Sandy Gallagher put us, whenever you are in the biggest danger after you do it with fear, all that you feel is fulfillment. And he meant when he was falling from the plane, when he was skydiving, he said, I was fearing when I was in bed last night. What the hell was I fearing if I was safe in my bed? Now that I'm falling, I feel so fulfilled. I'm flying. Well, that's exactly how the life works. If you don't risk, you won't win. And keep in mind exactly what risk is. Risk is exposing yourself to lose, but also by law of opposites, exposing yourself to win. So I would like to answer any questions if someone in this group has one of them.
Hey, Marcelo, this is Sebastian. How you doing today?
Hi, my friend. I'm doing great. What can we help you with, my friend?
Can you tell us a little bit more about the levels of awareness? I've heard Bob talk about that before.
Sure. Everything that exists in the world, every physical thing, every thought, every opportunity, every person, every business partner, every health, personal circumstance, anything, just anything, Sebastian, it's in a frequency of vibration. Because energy is always vibrating, and it's vibrating in a certain frequency of vibration. The only difference between, for example, sand and glass, it's the frequency of vibration. Glass is sand, sand is glass, both are energy, they just alter the frequency of vibration and it changed the shape. Well, when you follow the directions of mentorship, when you follow the directions of your coaches, they will help you to, number one, in your conscious mind, in the intellectual side of your personality, to build an image of how does it look like when you already achieved that goal. That's a frequency. But an intellectual frequency in the conscious mind, Sebastian, is not good enough to attract. You gotta dump it in the subconscious mind. If you want that $1 million, if you want that new car, if you want that new business partner or that new soulmate, you gotta first see it, and then you gotta put it in the subconscious mind. And the way to put it in the subconscious mind, that's, I don't wanna say the challenge, but that's what you learn when you go through a mentorship program and get the experience to keep doing it for the rest of your life. When you put it in the subconscious mind and you feel that that image is already yours, now you have it in that divine side. Now you have in that spiritual side, and now you match the vibration. Let's put it this way, Sebastian. When you really feel it's good, when you really feel it's yours, you match the vibration. Is that good enough to attract? No. Now you gotta keep that vibration long enough in order to move the whole universe to attract to you either the people, the idea, the opportunity, the circumstance that you're gonna act on. It's like a baby. If you're a father or if you have nephews or nieces, whenever the lady gets pregnant, that's not good enough. You gotta take care of that product for 8 or 9 months to make it born safe. Well, the same you planted, when you make that goal to become a desire, a burning desire, that's not good enough. You gotta keep putting in there over and over and over through emotions. And those emotions are the ones that eventually, some people will take 3 days, some people will try 3 weeks, some people will take 300 days. In my personal experience, Sebastian, and I have achieved huge goals in the last 14 years that I was close to Bob since 2008. I can tell you that but 1 or 2 cases in the last 14 years, and it been several dozens of goals that I have achieved, none of them has taken me more than 1 year. And the ones that took more than 1 year is probably because my paradigm was so big that I couldn't achieve it before 1 year. But the truth is that things happen fast when you give them energy. So matching the frequency means seeing it, feeling it, and then you will attract whatever you want in order to have a physical world. That's why Bob says, or used to say, if you can see it in your mind, you can have it in your hand, if you follow the process. I hope this helps, Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anyone else that has a question?
Hi, can I speak?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm Dino. How are you? I'm from Montreal. Great stuff. I just want to say it's awesome. So when you're in a high frequency mindset, so I feel it by myself. I'm good with that. Around some people, my wife, I'm good with that. When it's this weekend, I'm going to my in-laws. How do I play with all that? So my frequency is really high, my vibration is high, I feel good. But when I'm with other people that are not matching this, so how do we play with that? Because they're really good at that, asking me stuff, and so
that's a very good question, Dino, because we all that are in this beautiful lifestyle in the personal development, we experience this not every day, several times every day. Let's start from this. Only 3% of the people, as Bob told us, and he learned this from Earl Nightingale, are going the right way. That doesn't mean that the other 97 is bad people. They're just not thinking the right way. So because they're not thinking the right way, Dino, they're talking in a negative way, or behaving in a negative way, or betting or buying or selling in a not very honest way, because they think, I mean, in their level of awareness, they think they're doing it better. They're doing it good. They don't know better. That's how they learn. So that's their paradigm. But that doesn't mean that I gotta act like that. So put yourself in the 3% if you're doing exactly what we told you in these 5 days. So you gotta go to see your in-laws. Sometimes can be your mother. Sometimes can be your sister, not even your in-laws. I have 6 sisters, and I have all types of sisters. So I experience this very, very closely. So what do you do when you are where people are talking negative stuff, or watching a negative series on TV, or watching the news? Well, number one, you gotta try, like Bob said, to spend less time with them. That doesn't mean that you don't love them. That doesn't mean that you don't see them, but you don't go 10 hours a week to see them. You go 15 minutes, and you give them a lot of love, and you give them all that you can. If it's money, if it's time, if it's a book, if it just take them some groceries, whatever you want. It depends on who it is, but you make the time you spend with them a lot shorter, because their vibration will get you. You won't get them with your vibration. They will get you with yours. Number two, if they start talking negative stuff, don't tell them, hey, I don't like to talk about that because I'm very positive. They won't understand you. It's like if you're talking Korean and I'm talking Russian. I mean, you're saying good things, but I don't understand you. So what Bob recommends is just say, oh, it's interesting. That's it. I mean, don't get engaged. Don't get emotional. Don't let the idea go inside of you. In other words, reject ideas. Because like Araj said, if you don't reject, you're accepting. Oh, I didn't reject, I'm neutral. No, if you don't reject, you're accepting the idea. So you just reject it, but inside of you. You don't fight with them because they won't understand you. So, oh, it's interesting. But if they keep going because they don't know better, then a good idea is to start talking to them about them. You can ask them, hey, how's your business going? People just love to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So you can ask them if you know well that person, you know exactly what they like. If they like
Yep.
Beatles, if they like video games, whatever, you
Yep.
just start talking about them. And as soon as
Perfect.
you can, you get out of there.
Redirect to them. Perfect.
Yeah, but you know, my friend, the more you engage, you know, with this beautiful lifestyle, with this beautiful way of living, you will find out that a lot of people will stop talking to you, that a lot of people will start criticizing you, that a lot of people will start saying, well, they know it's not what happens to him. He's not like he was last Christmas. I mean, he probably feels he's better than us. I mean, you're not better than anyone. You're just more aware. You're just fortunate enough to be a little bit more aware. But don't try to teach them this if they don't ask you, because you can even, you know, I mean, I learned this from Bob. If you try to teach this to somebody that is not asking you to, it's like if you're violating their rights. It's like if you're raping their mindset, because it's their mindset. You don't have any right to go and exchange it unless they open and ask you. And very often, I mean, I work with hundreds of people around the world. Very often, you know, when they ask you to help them, they still get mad because people it's screaming to change, but they don't want to be changed. And when you're going to shift the paradigm, you got to put them to think, feel, talk, and behave very different than they currently do. And when you break someone's routine, that's very aggressive. So just get prepared. Don't expect to fight them. No, no. Just understand that when that happens, you have those three exits. And if it doesn't work, just turn around and get out of there because it won't serve you. My pleasure,
Okay.
Dino.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Anyone
Thanks.
else that would like to ask something?
Is Marcelo?
Hello, Mr. Marcelo.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Who is this?
This is Zarima.
Sarima, go ahead, please. It will be my pleasure to answer your
Thank
question.
you. Thank you so much, Monsieur. Actually, what I understood from the 5 days that to shift my paradigm is to have the image of the person that I want to be. After following Bob and his material since June to 2021, I learn a lot, but I have a big goal, actually big goal, which means I have my dream home. I'm dreaming of a palace. I'm having a goal to be like something very big in my country. So yeah, so the thing that I learned from the 5 day that I wasn't have the image. I wasn't see myself. I just only study the thing, but without seeing myself. Sometimes I did my meditation, sometimes I did my visualization, but I didn't see myself. I believe in it, but I didn't see the picture. It's not clear. Can you help me?
Yeah, well, you always, if I understood your question, Rima, you always gotta see in the image of your mind, in the picture of your mind, you gotta see yourself from your eyes. You don't see yourself playing out there the role that you want to play. You see it from your eyes. For example, if you want a new car, just to talk about any given example, you gotta see your hands driving the car. You don't see yourself driving, you see your hands driving, you see yourself turning on the radio, you see yourself turning on the air conditioner, you see yourself in the steering wheel, and then you smell the new car, and then you can see all the color of the leather inside of the car. That's why it's so important, Rima, to go and experience as much as you can whatever it's like your goal. You want a new car, go and test the car, not just to see how it sounds or how it looks like, so you can keep in your senses how it feels, how it smells, how it looks like whenever you turn on the air, and that smell that comes from the new cars. All that turns on your imagination. All that connects you better, but you gotta see it from your eyes. And once you see it, you gotta start doing it over and over and over again, Rima, because it's the repetition what puts that image in your subconscious mind. The image is not in the subconscious mind when it starts. It's in the conscious mind. Your intellectual factors, including your imagination, if you remember Bob drawing the stick person, your intellectual factors are in the conscious mind. But once you build that image and you put it in the subconscious mind, that's when it's a done deal. Now we got to keep it there for a few days, weeks, or months, and it will manifest. It not might manifest, Rima. It will manifest by our lawful process. It will manifest if you take care of it. It will manifest if you're loyal. But you know what happens, Rima? When somebody starts doing that and it doesn't seem like nothing happens in 2 weeks, in 2 months, they stop doing it because they don't see it. If I don't see, I don't believe. Well, it's the opposite. You gotta believe in order to see it. It's totally the opposite. So that's why you have to have a very respectable amount of faith in yourself, of self-esteem, of self-worth, of self-confidence, to know that even though your 5 senses do not allow you to see that it's here, it's in the universe. Because if you can see it in your mind, that goal, Rima, it's already in the intellectual world. If you can feel it in your heart, that goal is already in the subconscious world, in the divine side, in the universe. Just give it a time to manifest. An egg needs a time to have the little chicken to come out. Well, if you don't know, you just go and break the egg and try to open it. No, you gotta allow it to come by itself. You gotta allow the flower to bloom. You gotta be aware. The only way to wait and be patient and enjoy the process, Reba, is with awareness. And the only way to get awareness is through study. And the way to study the right things is only if you're guided. Because once again, I have a big library. You can see my big, huge library that I have. But you can read all these books. And those books won't make you successful if you don't know the process. Because it's not about doing a lot of things, reading a lot of books. It's reading books in a certain way. And very often, it's 2 or 3 pages that you got to read, not 300 or 3,000. So see yourself from your eyes. Experience with your senses, get emotionally involved, and keep it in there. A very good exercise that Raj gave us, I hope you got it. And if you didn't, just start doing it right away. It's putting your cell phone in your alarm. Put your alarm 3 times or 2 times a day so you can visualize for 30 seconds. Wherever you are, just close your eyes and see yourself playing in that image of your goal already achieved. Just 30 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute and a half. But if you do it 3 times a day, my friend, you're going to be doing it 20 times in average a week. You're going to be doing it close to 100 times in average a month. You're going to be doing it 500 times, in 6 months. Do you think that any goal will stand not to manifest if you visualize it 500 times, if you give it energy 500 times, if you feel it in here that it's already yours? No. And if you want to go back to the science or to the religion books, they all tell you the same. What is that you want? And believe that I can give it to you. So Rima, you're the best opportunity to succeed, and you're your worst problem to keep stuck. It's up to you, my friend. I hope this
I sometimes I visualize myself playing with my future kids. Is this normal?
That's very good. You see yourself, just don't put an exact face. Just don't make it to be the kid of your neighbor.
No, there is no faces. Just I see myself as a mother and with my kids and with my husband, future.
Yes, that's amazing. Now, taking advantage of this question you ask, I'm going to give something else because this video is going to go to a couple thousand people that were in the event. They're going to get it in their email. So I want to take advantage and give a bonus in this explanation. You can do the same if you don't have a soulmate. If you want a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a wife, a husband, a business partner, somebody to be with you, you do exactly the same. You build the image. You got to write it first, because when you write it, you think in images. But you got to build the image of exactly the person that you want next to you. It can be a job. It can be a colleague. It can be a soulmate. but you build it with all the characteristics, the height, the hair color, the skin color, the languages that speaks, the race. Just don't put a face. Because if you put a face, you're violating the person that has that face rights, because you're forcing him or her to come. But if you just put it with no face, and it can be a pretty person, a pretty man, a pretty woman, it will come. Believe me, I have done it many times in different areas. I see it every week in all the world with my students. It's super powerful. And you don't care if it comes from Japan, if it comes from Mexico, if it comes from Afghanistan, you will attract it from wherever it is. But believe me, out of 8 billion people, you will always attract exactly what you need, because that person is around. You just don't see it because you're not in that frequency. But when you match the frequency, it is done. Thank you, Rima.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna send it to every one of you. And it was my pleasure to see you. Thank you for your time, and bye-bye.